Hey, what's up, guys? This is Rob. Welcome back to Rule of Two Review, where we put a positive spin on your gaming news. And today I'm going to talk about some of that Telltale magic. Okay, so just in the past couple of days, I have had the distinct pleasure of being able to play and complete the second season to Telltale's The Walking Dead, which is obviously what has inspired this topic for me today. I have been a remarkable fan of everything Telltale has done ever since that first season of The Walking Dead. I thought it was super groundbreaking, way better than I ever thought, more than lived up to the hype by the time I finally got to play it. At the time that I had played it, the entire season was out, so I got to go through all 5 episodes within just a couple days. And then, of course, The Wolf Among Us and The Walking Dead Season 2 began at the beginning of last year, 2013, and they've both been running throughout most of this year, 2014. The Wolf Among Us has already completed. That was about now, I think, 2 months ago or so, that the final episode of, if that even is season 1, but the season of the Wolf Among Us had completed, and now here we are just 2 days ago. The final episode to The Walking Dead Season 2 also came out. I played through that sucker in 1 day, and it was amazing. It was to die for. I could not be happier with it. I could not be saying more positive things. The first season to The Walking Dead was easily the better season overall. And having just played the finale to Season 2, I will also say that the finale to Season 1 was also the better overall. Oh, and I'll preface, there are going to be no spoilers here in this video, just so you guys know. But yeah, the first season and the first finale were better than Season 2, respectively. But the cool thing about Season 2 is how there are actually 3 different endings that you can have with that game. 3 or 4, actually. And I was fortunate in that I chose the only ending that seems to be a good ending. After finishing that and then talking with another friend and sharing the experience he had, where he chose one of the wrong endings, I realized that the ending I chose was easily the best. And it is the only ending that is worthy of an ending to a Walking Dead season by Telltale. The other 2 and or 3, I researched at least 2 other versions. I watched video playthroughs of them to see what they were like. They were complete shit. They were awful. They were nothing that lived up to the hype and grandeur and like emotional climax that The Walking Dead is really known for and like trying to do with itself. So huge problem with those other 2 endings, but since I played through the good one, I couldn't be happier with it. So when you look at The Walking Dead Season 1, Wolf Among Us Season 1, and Walking Dead Season 2, you could say that Telltale is on a roll. I would definitely agree. Not to mention the small facts of both the Tales from the Borderlands and Game of Thrones games that they are going to be making and releasing sometime in the next year or so too. So yeah, Telltale's on a roll. And that is what's kind of leading me into today's topic, is the fact that Telltale is killing it. They are doing better than most people right now. They are like batting 1,000. What they're doing and bringing to the table was initially revolutionary. Now it's just perfection. They're perfecting their craft and doing it better than anyone, better than they did when they first started out. And it's a wonderful thing. Us, the gamer, is winning. But is it possible that maybe they won't be able to keep it up forever? And therein lies the crux of the video, and why I wanted to make this quick little chat about this topic, is it seems like Telltale is unstoppable. I would agree, feeling that the 3 games that they've made over this last 2 years have been 3 of the best games I've played in a very long time. And the emotion that the Wolf Among Us didn't really have a lot of emotion. It was just a great story with great characters. But Walking Dead, both seasons, were just filled with emotion, and there was so much connection there, and there was a lot to be happy about, and there was a lot to be sad about. And if you cared about these people and bad things happened, you were devastated. I would be lying if I said I didn't have crazy tears in my eyes playing the final episode to Season 2 of The Walking Dead. I mean, not many games or movies or anything can really get me to do that, let alone admit it to you guys here on Rule of Two Review and on the internet for everyone to hear, but it's true, man. It was that good. So here I am, enamored with everything Telltale is doing, like most of us, like most of you and most gamers right now. They're just doing such wonderful things, and it feels great, but you have to wonder, if they don't change up their formula, is the freshness and the novelty going to wear off? And it's a really interesting topic, and it's kind of tough because I don't really know how I feel, so it seems kind of premature to make a video about this topic, but just because The Walking Dead and that recent finale is so fresh in my mind, it was now just the day before yesterday as of this recording, 2 days ago in my brain, and I haven't stopped thinking about it, and I haven't stopped talking about it with the people who I know who finished it, and my friends who are going to be going through it when they have the time. All I can do is think about and talk about The Walking Dead Season 2 and how it ended and how my ending was so good. And, I would like to be able to talk spoilerish about it, but it's really fresh, and I don't know how many Rule of Two Review fans actually play the Telltale stuff. I can tell you, if you don't, then you are crazy, and you are seriously denying yourself one of the most amazing and memorable gaming experiences you could possibly have. So if you haven't played them, do it. don't be crazy. Please get off your ass, shut this video off, go download and play those games. They are worth every penny. I don't care how much they cost. They are worth the time to go through them. They are amazing. So yeah, I don't really know if they would be able to keep this up or not. I have to admit that I think Tales from the Borderlands is set to be their very next game, which is some sort of brand new take, spinning some sort of, I think, backstory about Handsome Jack from the Borderlands games. And I like the Borderlands games. I don't love them like a lot of people, but I like what I've played. And I do own Borderlands 2. And so I think that there's a really cool idea there. Given the visual aesthetic and just a little bit I understand, I feel like what we're doing is getting the same kind of game only in the Borderlands universe. So it's going to be the episodic, treated like a season. It's one story. There's branching dialogue trees, not a lot of gameplay and action. It's more about the story and the development of the characters and the surprises. And that would be great because obviously Telltale has proven time and time again that they can do it and do it well. But I wonder if we might be looking at the beginning of wondering if Telltale can do anything different. I feel like the Game of Thrones game that we know they're also making, and I am a humongous Game of Thrones fan. Oh my God, I couldn't be more excited at this prospect. Telltale and Game of Thrones together is like orgasmic. But I feel like that game is guaranteed to be like The Walking Dead and The Wolf Among Us. Tales from the Borderlands, unless anyone out there knows more details than I do and can confirm if it's one way or the other, you should share it below if you do know. But since I don't know, I could see it maybe not being as much of a traditional Telltale game as we've been used to lately. But like I said, I do feel like Game of Thrones is all but a surefire bet. It's going to be just like that stuff. So it's weird because Telltale does it perfectly. I feel like they could probably keep up their quality with every story that they get into and make it just as good as the last ones, and probably never like lose their ability to make these games perfect the way they are. But what I'm worried about is if they can't prove that they can make a different kind of game than this, that I'm worried that eventually the quality of the game really will matter less and less as the years go on and as gamers, we kind of get more used to it. And if people will just get sick of it and less into it, no matter how good the games stay, we can hope that as long as the games are great, everyone's going to love them. And that is a possibility. And I would love that to be true. But sometimes it doesn't matter. Like we've seen it with a lot of movie and game franchises in the past where even if the quality stays there, people still maybe kind of die off. They just lose interest and they want to go on to the newer, better thing. Or with Telltale specifically, what started as an indie studio and really with the success they've had feels less and less like an indie studio and more like a high profile developer now. It makes us wonder if a studio like that really proves to just be a one-trick pony. And even if you can do that one trick better than anyone else and knock it out of the park every time, will people get sick of it? And again, I don't know. I'm not here to state any facts or tell you guys what I think will or won't happen. I kind of just like the idea of postulating about it and wondering what could happen. I do know that as long as Telltale continues to make games like this and do them this well, I don't see myself getting sick of it, but I do worry that other gamers might, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. I think that for now, for the foreseeable future, I feel like we're going to get the same kind of game. It might not be until 2016 or 17 where they finally start to make some sort of games, maybe original properties where they decide to start branching out and making it like an action game or a strategy game or just a third-person story-based game or a shooter. I mean, who knows what they could do? They're obviously very creative, and they have probably some of the best writing talent in the business, so they can do amazing things. They've got the talent. It's just a matter of, do they only make these episodic branching dialogue tree kind of games, or can they do anything else? I think if they really put their heart and effort into something else, they could make something else amazing, only in a different genre. But if they don't do that, like I said, I know I'm going to remain excited and probably enjoy their games as long as they stay good, but it could, I don't know. I mean, it's obviously not going to spell their downfall or their doom. They're going to be fine. The studio is going to be okay, but I just don't want gamers to lose interest and the appreciation for the great things that they do. They're a unique kind of studio making a unique kind of game. And that's just kind of it. I mean, I guess those are some of my thoughts. What's going to happen there with Telltale? Do they have the ability to make anything different? And if they do, will they? Or are they going to continue to make the same kind of games that they've been making and winning awards and doing really well with, Do they continue always only adapting properties, or will they ever finally branch out and try something new, an original by themselves? I think that one, the latter, is all but guaranteed. I think that eventually pretty soon we're going to get something brand new from Telltale. That's like their own intellectual property. Now, as far as whether or not they're going to, branch out to different genres, that's really anyone's guess as of right now. I feel like For the foreseeable future, they're going to be the same kind of games. In a couple years, will they change? I don't know. Maybe it's going to depend on how people react to them. If one of these next games turns out to really not light the world on fire, maybe it's going to light a fire under their asses to try something different and say, hey, we can't keep making these same kind of games and still have people love them and appreciate them and see the kind of success we saw. It's obvious we need to start trying different things and getting a couple studios making a couple different games and try different genres of games. So what do you guys think? If you guys are Telltale players and if you've played any or all of the games that they've made, especially these 3 episodic seasons I brought up, do you like that stuff and do you want it to continue, or do you maybe think they do need to branch out? Do you think that if they don't change the genres that people really won't care, or do you think that yes, people might start to drop off after time? It's an interesting topic, and I just kind of wanted to get you guys thinking about it because I've been thinking about it. I finished one of the best episodes I've ever played from any one of their games just 2 days ago, and here I am riding the high of how good it was, and it also got me thinking, does this need to change soon? So it's a really weird dichotomy that happened there. So I don't know. That's my question to you guys. You got some of my thoughts, but I do want to know, where do you think Telltale could go from here? All right, that's it for the Telltale kind of postulation and theorizing for today. Again, please, if you haven't played Telltale stuff or Season 2 of The Walking Dead, get off your ass and go play that shit. It is amazing. I cannot tell you how good it is. So, of course, if you stumbled upon this video and you like what I'm doing here at Rule of 2 Review, you should please feel free to subscribe, like, and share the video. Share your comments and your thoughts about Telltale stuff below. And thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you guys on the next video.